Good morning, everyone. And hope we are fine and hope we are safe. I am Mr. Patrick, your online ICT teacher. In today's topic, we'll be looking at types of storage devices. In our previous lesson, I introduced you to storage devices. We looked at the definition of storage devices, and we also looked at examples of storage devices and even look at how data are measured in storage devices. We made mentions of some key terms in that lesson like bytes, like your hard disks, your solid state drive, Blu-ray disc, and all that. We mentioned that in our previous lesson. Now, in today's topic, types of storage devices is a week 2 topic for year 3. So, I'd like you to listen as we go through the process of making you understand the types of storage devices. But first, let's look at some learning targets. We're going to look at how to define storage devices in today's lesson. Then you should be able to mention the types of storage devices after this lesson and also identify the types of storage devices. Let's get started. Storage devices, once again, are devices that are used to store computer data. That means everything in the computer is stored in the storage devices. Okay. Now, all computers come with a storage device known as hard drive or solid state drive. Now, your storage, every house has a place, right? It's supposed to have a place where we store food, store things, and store food. That means if you want to take it from that food, you have to go to the storeroom and do do something, fetch, or you keep. Now, the storeroom is meant for you to store, and it's actually meant for you to um, fetch when you need it. Okay, that's how the hard drive works, or that's how the storage devices work. It stores it so that you can fetch data from it and also store back data on it. So that's the importance of storage device. I forgot to mention that to you last in the previous class, but make sure you don't forget that. All right, and that's why we're looking at definition again in this topic and this week. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Types of storage devices. We have two types of storage devices: primary storage devices and secondary storage devices. Okay. For primary storage devices, this is the main storage device that is inside the computer system unit. An example is your internal hard disk. Is the main That means computer all computer devices come with a storage capacity. That means it comes with something inside them that allows you to store data. Whatever that device originally comes with as a storage device, it's the primary storage device or it's the main storage device, because that is the original storage device that was created with that device. So that any original storage device that comes with a computer is the primary storage device. So without a primary storage device, you shouldn't be having a secondary storage device. Just example, without a primary school, you can have a secondary school. Okay, so you must go through primary school first before you get to secondary school. So that's the idea. All right, now the computer fetches and keeps the data and files in the primary storage device. All right, so let's look at some examples of primary storage device. We highlighted this too in previous lesson, but yes, these are examples of primary storage device. Your hard disk drive, which is your HDD. All right, then your solid state drive, which is your SDD. So we have HDD and we have SDD. All right, these are examples of primary storage device. They come with the computer, originally with the computer. All right, now let's look at some other thing. Secondary storage devices. These are devices that are mainly used to store data outside the computer. Not only outside, some could be internal, that means could be inside the computer, but they are not the primary storage. Originally doesn't come with the computer as the main storage device. Okay, so these are usually, they are mainly external devices that are used to store data outside the computer. All right, now we have some examples of secondary storage devices: flash drives, wonderful, CDs and DVDs. We have floppy disks, we have Blu-ray disc, and we have external hard drive and so many other things that there are so many. Okay, all right. So I hope you have listened to everything we've talked about in this lesson, and I hope you have learned. And make sure you remember that storage devices are devices that are used to store computer data. Thank you, and make sure you attempt your quiz after this lesson. See you next week.